You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Podcast.
So a Costco here in the state of Washington, located in Yakima, east of the mountains from where I'm recording this, has had over 150 Costco employees, it's more than that, test positive for the coronavirus. But does the store close down? No, that store remains open. So Costco gets a hall pass for the coronavirus. You've had over 150 employees get the Rona. It's okay. You're not giving it to the customers. There's no way you're giving it to the customers. You guys stay open. Let's talk about it. If you are new here, my name is Sean Reynolds. I'm an owner of a couple of real estate companies, but I mainly talk about the news here on the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. News that you guys like. All right, let's jump on into it. And I'm going to read 3 articles because this is kind of this continuing story. And thank you to the viewer/listener that sent me this story. You know who you are. I emailed with you. Thanks again. Here's that podcast, right? Coronavirus infects nearly 150 Costco employees at Washington State store. Location to remain open. 68 employees tested positive right before Christmas, officials said, but we need that tax revenue from that store. Therefore, we're going to allow that store to remain open. That is what is going on. People at Costco are getting, I can't imagine that. Can you? You guys gone into Costco lately? There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of shoppers there. The entire time, throughout the entire Rona, there has been tons of people at Costco. People love Costco. They get great deals. They get way too much stuff. They buy way too much food that gets spoiled because you can't eat 18 cans of whatever. Well, can isn't an example, but like 4 loaves of bread. Everything's a 2-for-1 kind of thing. You just get way too much food. And unless you're a big family or you have, young men that are growing, you're just not going to be able to eat all that food. So it goes bad. But people love their Costco. Hey, let's go see what an 89-inch television screen goes for now. Is it like $200? I mean, I'm totally making up those numbers, but it's crazy what TVs are going for. Nearly 150 employees at a Costco in Washington have tested positive for COVID-19 in an ongoing investigation by the Yakima Health District. So this article was as of, I think, for December 30th, so a little bit ago. But I'm reading these stories in sequence here, so you got to kind of follow along. All 145 people that tested positive are currently quarantining, the health department announced in an updated news release Tuesday. Thank heavens. Oh, if they weren't quarantining, I'd be really, really upset. This is crazy. How is this store open? Seriously. This many cases coming out of there. How are people saying with a straight face, yeah, you guys can stay open? How does that work? Bars and restaurants, which have not been proven to be a spreader of the Rona, are closed. Gyms are closed. Less than 1% of the Rona cases coming out of gyms, and they're closed. But Costco, with a known over 150 people, how many people do those 150 employees come within close contact with other people, with consumers, with buyers in there? A lot. I mean, if you go to a Costco, but even just getting from the parking lot into the store, it is just this herd of humanity. Everybody, we got to line up to get a cart. I'm going to grab a cart from that line. And then we got to get out our card. We got to show the person at the gate who does not care if you have a card or not. Because at the end, if you don't have a card, they're not going to check you out kind of thing. So we've just got this whole system. We're going into Costco. You are herded like cattle going into a cattle pen. Right? I mean, and you're that close. So if there's any employees there, and if you got 150 plus employees that have had it, they're in contact with people all day long. Yet that Costco store remains open. That is kind of shocking, isn't it? Let's continue on and see the justifications we have for staying open with as many cases of this. When the data and the science, I mean, this is actual data, right? There's no science to it. You got a whole bunch of people infected with the Rona and your store remains open. That is the data, right? You don't even have to have science for that one. It's kind of like, what is going on here? However, the store will remain open while officials continue to investigate the sharp increase in cases. Thank heavens. At least they're going to investigate the sharp increase in cases. Could you imagine if a small independent gym that had like 7 employees had 3 or 4 of those employees come down with the Rona? That place would be closed like that. I mean, it would be just a massive story, and it would be immediate shutdown. There would be looking into the protocols. We'd have to do contact tracing with all the people that they've been in contact with, all the people that checked into that gym. Now, you can check people, like I was talking about at Costco, all the people that have gone in there. So have all those people been contacted because they've been around all these employees, right? I mean, it's a Costco store. It's a warehouse. Got people walking around, doing stuff, carrying heavy boxes, running little forklifts. You know the drill. But is that happening at Costco in Yakima? No. Business as usual. Yeah, we're looking into it. We're looking into those cases increasing, but we're going to let the store remain open because we need that tax revenue. After reviewing the number of cases and when they occurred, officials say there is evidence that the outbreak resulted from some sort of superspreader event. Okay, and yet the store remains open? I mean, you're basically just saying, hey, we got Rona going left and right here. We've got Rona flying off the shelves. This is a catastrophe. But we're going to let the store stay open while we investigate it because, I mean, geez, there's some sort of super spreader event going on around here, but we should probably let the store stay open and we should probably investigate it while we're, working on the data and the science of why Costco stays open and local mom and pop stores or restaurants, bars, gyms, but not strip clubs. Strip clubs are a go now. I mean, strip clubs are, and that's important because, I mean, if you don't have a strip club in your community open, 24/7, foundation of your society might fail, right? That's what our governor is doing in his infinite wisdom, keeping Costco open, keeping strip clubs, allowing strip clubs to open up here January 11th. And Costco that has got some sort of super spreader event, according to officials, this is an official saying it, some sort of super spreader event, that an official is saying they get to remain open. Classic. Last week, the Yakima Health District announced it was working with the wholesale club to investigate the outbreak after at least 68 employees tested positive right before Christmas. The super spreader event didn't happen outside of Costco. It was the Yakima Costco. That's what it was. But we don't want to shut down Costco. Oh, you can't go up against a big chain. Can't do that. We just need to hammer on the little mom and pop places. We can control them. However, when officials conducted an on-site visit on December 23rd, they concluded that there was not an increased risk of COVID-19 transmission to the public so long as staff and customers continue to follow safety precautions. Dr. Larry Jecka, interim health officer at the Yakima Health District, said last week, "What a bunch of nonsense. How does that work?" I mean, honestly, you've got that many cases of the Rona coming out of a single store, and somebody's going to go in there and say, yeah, as long as you continue to follow the safety precautions, the same ones that were in place when all these people got infected, as long as you keep doing that, you're good to go. It's hall pass. You might get the Rona because clearly that hasn't worked in the past. But now, as long as you follow these safety precautions moving forward, everything's going to be okay. We're going to get our tax revenue. And don't worry, you won't get the Rona, except for this super spreader event that we've got going on. But, we want to look the other way. Everything's good. It's all good. Don't worry. Things are going to work out. It's going to be fine. Costco began conducting widespread testing of employees as directed by the Yakima Health District due to the large number of infected employees. Does this story just not seem crazy to you? It does to me. To me, it's like, what are these people doing? I mean, I know what they're doing, and it annoys me terribly. It's like, yeah, no. Shut the store down. Shut it down. For site-wide testing, every employee, regardless of whether they are identified as being in close contact with a positive COVID-19 case, is tested. Well, that should be standard protocol, along with closing the store down. I'm not trying to deny people in Yakima their ability to go shopping at Costco, but Yakima was a little behind the curve when the whole COVID thing came up. Yakima, a little bit backwards. Sorry, Bob and Gail Hall, who live there. They've got a big bunch of car dealerships. Sorry, you guys were a little slow to the Rona game, and people just weren't really wearing masks in Yakima, doing that kind of thing, and they got spanked. Yakima got spanked, and they're dealing with it. But Costco is not closing. Thank heavens. That way I can get my 18-pack of those chocolate muffins that have like 2,000 calories a muffin. Those are solid. 85 grams of fat per Costco muffin. Those are delicious. You put some butter in those bad boys. That is a treat. Blood sugar level goes up. You instantly get diabetes, but that's what we're doing at Costco. When a large outbreak occurs, the Yakima Health District's COVID-19 outbreak response team. All right, we've got a Yakima Health District COVID-19 outbreak response team. They've been busy, haven't they? It also follows up with the company to gather information on whether department affected employees worked and when they tested positive. No mention of closing down. We're just testing. We're just seeing how things are going. Health officials will then determine the appropriate next steps for the business based on several factors, including whether there is an increased risk to the community, if the business can demonstrate that it is complying with COVID-19 safety precautions, and if there is evidence of ongoing transmission. Well, this thing hasn't gone away, has it? Miraculously, the Rona has not exited Yakima, and yet this store remains open. Costco extends special senior shopping hours indefinitely due to COVID spike. Really? Well, I'd say that is warranted, because if you are a senior citizen in Yakima, don't be going to Costco. That's a no-go. Take that off your list of things to do today. Yakima County, where the store is located, has seen a significant increase in COVID-19 cases over the last few weeks. To date, the county has reported more than 18,100 confirmed cases. Is that a lot per their population? Yeah, I think it is, but I don't really know. But to me, it's kind of like, it's not a big, huge geographic area, but they've been well known for their Rona, and now their Costco staying open throughout all this crazy stuff. Despite this, county officials have not recommended that any businesses close due to the COVID-19 infection among its staff. Representatives for Costco did not immediately respond to Fox Business request for comment. Imagine that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Costco coronavirus hits 173 Costco employees at Washington State store. So the super spreader event that we had going on, it continued going on while they're doing testing and analyzing and bringing doctors in and saying, we're still good here. It's a super spreader event, but we're just going to let this one stay open. More than 150 employees at Costco in the state of Washington have tested positive. As of Tuesday, 100 and I believe that's yesterday, right? Is that right? It's my date here. Yeah, published January 5th. As of Tuesday, 173 employees at the Union Gap warehouse in Yakima County have been infected with the virus and were forced to quarantine, the Yakima Health District and the store's general manager, Keri Luft, said. While investigating the surge in cases, Lillian Bravo, the director of public health partnerships at the Yakima Health District, told Fox Business that Costco has followed all safety protocols and will be allowed to remain open. Again, if this was any other business, no go. Shut down immediately. Last month, the Yakima Health District announced it was working with the wholesale club to investigate the outbreak after at least 68 employees tested positive right before Christmas. So they're working with them. They're making sure that they get all this testing done. What are they doing? Yeah, really nothing. The health department has said the sharp increase in cases mimics the type of activity that happens after some sort of super spreader event. Yeah, it was called people going shopping at Costco and the employees there. Did Costco and Yakima have an employee Christmas event? I don't know. Maybe that's something to look into. However, officials were unable to pinpoint any specific event that may have caused the outbreak. I would guess that is a Christmas event as well. Luft also confirmed the store. Here it is. Luft also confirmed that the store did not hold an indoor or outdoor Christmas party. Thank heavens. No outdoor Christmas party in Yakima in December. That's good, because that would have been cold. It gets cold over there. Store is also continuing its efforts to test employees each week. That's good. You got a super spreader event, and what you're doing is testing people. This is just, it's mind-blowing to me. See if we got anything else new. Just recommending that, despite this, health department officials have not recommended that any businesses close due to COVID-19 infection among its staff. So some businesses get the hall pass. Other businesses, you are closed due to the data and the science that don't really exist. But we need to close a certain number of businesses to look like we are doing something, to monkey around with the numbers and just kind of make everybody feel good that we care about people's public health. We care about the public health. We care about safety. But we're not going to close down Costco, even though it's got the Rona off the charts. All right, here's the last one I'm reading on this one. The Yakima Health District, here's the last article I'm reading, and this is an update on COVID-19 outbreak at Yakima Costco. I mean, we need to know. We need to find out what's going on here. Yakima Health District has continued to work with Costco to contain an outbreak of COVID-19, but not really doing anything. I added that part. After completing their first round of testing, a total of 173 employees tested positive for COVID-19. Previously, 174 cases reported. So we lost one. They're just a stray case just somewhere. We're not really sure who that is, but 174 cases were reported. However, after reconciling all available records, the case now is now 176. We gained 2. We went 173, 174, 170. Okay, we're at 176. We got 3 back after going to 173. We were down 3. Now we're up to 176 over 174. Things are looking up for Costco and Yakima. Numbers are strong. You guys have strong Rona numbers. Per Yakima Health District recommendations, Costco will continue to offer site-wide testing of its employees on an ongoing basis until there is less than a 5% positivity rate observed. The second round of testing began on January 4th, 2021. We anticipate with so much community transmission of COVID-19 and with the holidays that just passed, we'll likely see more cases coming from Costco staff that may not necessarily be linked to the original outbreak. That is comforting. We're going to have more cases is what they're saying. So we know we've had a massive outbreak. We know it's due to a super spreader event. We are probably going to have more cases not necessarily linked to the original outbreak. But what we're saying is that Costco gets a hall pass. They just do. It's important for you to be able to go and get your groceries in bulk, not just go to your regular grocery store, because that won't do. You need to be able to get a 14-pack of whatever it is that is your heart's content at Costco. That is your God-given right to buy that 14-pack of whatever grocery item that you demand, and also have a high percentage chance of getting the Rona at the Costco in Yakima in Union Gap. That's where you're at with this story. But at the end of the article, here's how we close out. A reminder to all community members that we care dearly about that you need to be able to shop at Costco. A reminder to all community members that COVID-19 continues to be high across Yakima County. What? I had no idea. 176 employees at one Costco get the Rona. We let it stay open. And then at the end, we tell people, you know what? Rona's high in Yakima County, but we're not closing down Costco. You guys, we know how dear Costco is to your heart. So we've got to keep that open. That's what we're doing here in Yakima County. We're just basically going to take all the data and say, yep, we're working on it. We're testing. But Costco's got a deal to stay open, right? Big business does. Small business, not so much. They don't have the representation to stay open. And I think that is a crime because I'm a small business guy. My businesses haven't remained open due to just arbitrary decisions. One of the appraisal company is basically on the federal level because of the way we do our reporting with appraisal reports. They're actually done on federal reports. We have been essential from day one. Real estate, which is arguably not essential. I mean, life, if you couldn't buy or sell a home, life would still go on. Now, without food, not so much. But do you have other options outside of Costco? Yes, you do. So that's kind of my thing here is you could close a Costco down. Maybe you clean it up. I don't know. But how do you have an outbreak like that and not shut a store down? How do you bald face lie and tell people, you know what? Nothing to see here. All is good. All is good. You're not going to get the wrong. I mean, if I walked into that store, don't you think you'd be kind of looking around going, 176 of these employees have tested positive. How many have died? Out of 176, what's the percentage that, I mean, I'm guessing probably none. Otherwise, that'd be in the story too, right? And I'm thinking out loud here, which is probably dangerous to do on a podcast. It's going to be shared with thousands of people. But that is my process here. So Costco, I mean, if you want to be a real risk taker in January of 2021, if you want to put on your bucket list of exciting things to do, why don't you just jot down on the end of that list, shop at the Union Gap Costco in Yakima County, Washington. Take a trip there, go shopping, see if you make it. Because 176 people, employees of Costco, they have had the Rona. You might get it. You might not. We don't know. But what we do know, Costco is going to remain open. That's what we're doing. Silly, isn't it? Isn't it just silly that, I mean, you go through this reasoning and you're like, okay, I'm a reasonable person and I can't really see how that works because they're not really giving me any information that this makes any sense whatsoever. But throughout the whole coronavirus thing, not a lot of this has made sense, has it? And we just kind of roll with it because you don't have a lot of options. You can get really worked up and you can get really angry and say, oh, the man is holding me down. This isn't good. Big corporate is screwing me yet again. You can go down those roads if you want. Or you can just tune into some ridiculous real estate guy who's making fun of the whole Costco decision after they had Rona just had its way with their employees and laugh about it because that's really all you can do. Nobody's going to change their mind with the health department or with Costco, whatever deal big business has with our state, our political leaders. I mean, they cut some kind of deal, right? I mean, we all know that. So you just got to laugh about it and make fun of it because otherwise it would drive you crazy. Don't want that. All right. That's it for me on this episode of the Seattle Real Estate Podcast, which was not about Seattle. It was about Yakima and Costco, which is from Seattle, but Seattle isn't taking any responsibility for this outbreak whatsoever. That's an east of the mountains thing. You guys are going to have to handle that over there on your own. We're out of this one. We want no responsibility with the whole Rona thing. That super spreader event, you guys keep that over there. Don't let that spread to our Costco's over here on the west side of the mountains. All right, that's it for me. I'm out of here. Thanks for being here. I'll catch up with you guys in the next one. Bye for now. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video is out.